Welcome to the Max Potential Habits podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Amanda Barrientez, the founder of NFA Coaching. I'm a Max Potential Habits expert, and it's my mission to teach you actionable strategies that will help you be a business building badass. Every week on the Max Potential Habits podcast, I'll bring you tips, tools, and inspirational stories from successful business builders who will share their max potential habits that helped them create rich, thriving, kick-ass lives and businesses. Now let's get to it. Hey everyone, Dr. Amanda Barrientez here with NFA Coaching, and you're either watching the Max Potential Habits channel on IGTV, YouTube, or on the podcast. For those of you who are watching, I'm in my brand new office today, and this is so exciting because I love it. I'm really just blissed out in this space. For a long time, I worked the last 2 years in my basement. Well, actually the last 6 months. When I started coaching, I didn't have a permanent recording space, and so I had my basement decked out with a backdrop, which is brick. So what you see in all those pictures and videos that I've had for a long time, it's actually a backdrop in an unfinished basement where the ceilings weren't finished and concrete floors, and I just had this makeshift recording studio. And it was awesome. I mean, really, it's forever going to live in my mind as a place that I'm grateful for, because it's where I really started the flow of making videos. When I very first started making videos in June, I was in my upstairs office, which was in the living room of our townhouse. And I was talking to someone today about this, about how I can't even get myself to go back and look at my first few videos because I had no idea what I was doing. I was totally nervous, and I still get nervous to do videos, but I think I'm around 40 videos in on YouTube and IGTV, and I'm starting to notice that I feel a little bit more comfortable. I'm like, okay, I can just sit at my desk and pull it off. And I used to write a script, and I'd have scene breaks, and it would take me, I think my first video probably took me around 25 hours to make. Granted, I had to learn YouTube and video editing, and so I got these tutorials, and I took it all on. The reason I'm telling you this is because I want to know what you're dedicated to. Is there something in your life or business where you're like, I really want to try this new thing out, and I have this dream? Maybe you have a secret dream that you've had in your mind for a long time, but you keep focusing on all the things that are holding you back, and all the skills you don't have, and all the people you don't know, and you make up a lot of excuses and reasons why you can't do it. Well, I want you to get over that, and I want you to just get started. Just get started. I say this to people all the time. Take the first step. It's freaking scary. When I did that first video, I probably did 25 takes. I want to do a blooper reel at some point because it was hilarious. Like, I seriously was in my living room laughing at myself. It was hot out. I started sweating, and then I was like, oh, I need to do different makeup and the lighting, and just on and on and on. And it was awesome. And I fell flat on my face a million times, and I probably looked somewhat ridiculous. But the thing is, I cared. I really do care about bringing value to everybody who's engaged with me, my NFA tribe. I want to bring you value every single week, and so I stayed on course. I am dedicated to helping people. I am dedicated to bringing you everything I possibly can that's in my mind, that I learn about each week. I want to bring it to you in every format I possibly can so that you can access me in multiple versions. I'm really inspired by free resources like YouTube, IGTV, and podcasts, and so I'm going that direction in a big way lately. One of my goals is to start recording 3 podcasts a week and doing more interviews. The video land has been really fun. I want to do online courses and all that stuff. But here's the thing. I didn't know how to do any of this 6 months ago. Let's see, it was June. So about 10 months ago. I didn't know how to do any of this, none of it. So I want you to ask yourself, if you don't take one step today, where will you be 10 months from now? You'll be in the same damn spot, wishing, hoping, longing, wishing that you could create something different in your life. Just take the first step. So I want you to think right now, what's the one thing that you know if you took that first scary step, it would send you in the direction you want to go. It would start to create momentum for you to build something you want. Maybe for you, it's losing 100 pounds. Maybe it's a new dating life where you're like, okay, I'm going to start to attract different people, which means I've got to start to become a master of myself, which means I got to start reading personal growth and development books. Obviously, I've got some great resources here, so let me know. I've got a Thrive Roadmap free download on my website. I'm writing that into a book, but there's tons of great resources in that. There's look online, type into Google, best personal growth and development books. There's a million. Start there. Maybe it's business skills and you want to do a website. I built my entire website myself. I still don't have a team. I do all my marketing myself. I learned Canva. I learned YouTube. I'm not saying it again to brag. I'm saying it because anyone can do it. These resources are available to you. Stop making excuses. Be radically responsible for your outcomes because you matter and your impact matters. Your influence matters. But if you sit back and hold yourself playing small, you're never going to get there. I had a really interesting conversation with someone the other day about narcissism. And I was talking to them about how self-doubt is actually a form of narcissism. And this is a really probably controversial topic because I know a lot of people have a lot of charges on the term narcissism, especially if you've been in a relationship where you feel like you've been with a narcissist and all those things. But I want to talk about this in the way of narcissism as a spectrum of narcissism and altruism. If you are living your life afraid of being narcissistic, then you're avoiding half of the part of yourself, which will probably push you into being overly altruistic, and you'll overgive of yourself. You'll probably end up on the end of being a doormat. You will overly share. You will undercharge. You will be a people pleaser. You will let people push you around. Whereas if you're on the end of narcissism, you are likely to want more than you're willing to give, let's say. But in this way, if you have self-doubt operating at all points in time and you're constantly thinking, did I say the right thing? Did I do the right thing? I don't want to put myself out there because people might judge me. That's actually you taking away, bringing your gifts to the world, your value to the world because you're so worried about yourself, which is oddly a form of narcissism. So I had never really thought of it this way. I used to suffer from extreme self-doubt. I would have a conversation, or let's say I was in a setting with a whole bunch of people and I talked and I felt maybe intimidated by the people around me. I would walk away and for hours I would think, did I say the right thing? Was I stupid? Did they think I'm dumb? On and on and on. And then that would prevent me from speaking up in the next setting. And then someone would say something and I'd be like, that's what I was going to say. And I'd realize, like, speak up. And I didn't ever really think about how one-sided that was and that I was just hyper-focused on myself instead of bringing value to the table and thinking maybe my thought or what I have to say could bring some value to other people. So I know this is a tangential conversation where I've taken a few twists and turns, but they're important topics that I really want you to think about in terms of getting where you want to go. Leading an inspired life, leading an inspired vision. If you're being held back by your excuses, if you're being held back by your self-doubt, if you're being held back because you don't have the skills you need, do what it takes. You are the master of your universe. You are in charge of your outcome. You get to choose your reality by taking action and one step at a time. You can make phenomenal movement, drastic movement in 10 months. I have 40 videos on YouTube now. I have like around 50 followers or subscribers on YouTube. Awesome. That's 50 people that I get to impact every week. You're going to start with 1, 2. You might hear nothing for a while. You may have barely any downloads of your videos. Who cares? Get yourself out there. Do it. Maybe you want to write a book. Write down the first 500 words and start doing that every day. Maybe 500 feels like a lot. Start with 100. Just stop making excuses. Take the small steps. Believe in yourself and make it happen. You need to become your greatest cheerleader and follow your inspired path. Get out of your own way and get on it. All right, that is my inspired rant for the day, or inspired, enthusiastic encouragement, let's say. I can't wait to see you again, and I appreciate you being here. I'm so grateful for my NFA tribe. Thank you for your support. Thank you for bringing me ideas. Leave some comments, share, review. That all helps me out. As you can tell, I don't have any sponsors of any sort at this point. I don't know if I ever will, but right now I'm self-funded and I do a lot of work and I take a lot of time to bring these videos and podcasts to you. So help me out by sharing, leaving some reviews and comments, and letting me know what you'd like to hear. I hope you have a NFA day. Thanks so much for listening to this episode. If you're liking this podcast, make sure you subscribe and leave a review. This will help me help more people max their potential to thrive. If you want to be a part of the Max Potential Habits community, go to nfacoaching.com, where you can get my free Thrive roadmap that will teach you the 6 steps I took to go from food stamps to 6 figures in only 3 years. And you can also find out how to join my live weekly online training that happens every Monday with other NFA Max Potential Habits business builders who are driven to succeed. Until next time, I hope you have a NFA day where you thrive and feel alive.